Alright, greetings and salutations. My name is Comic Fire, and welcome back to more Shin Megami Tensei Digital Devil Saga 2. In the last episode, we finished up at that big old facility and incited a rebellion. Well, I'm sure really everyone else incited the rebellion. We were accessories to this most heinous of crimes, upsetting the status quo. And now, we're in the EGG installation, which is probably one of my least favorite dungeons in the game, and the dungeon that really made me realize that I wasn't having fun playing this game at the first time I played it. Because it capitalizes the problems that I have with this game. The dungeons drag on a lot longer than they have to. And the encounter rate needed retooling. I can dig it, Johnny. I'm always up for some serious business. Capitalism ho and all that. Reciteer. Which is a good game that I should really play more of. Anyway, pay close attention to the levels that we were just at. Around 21, 22. Yeah, pay close attention to that. Now let's start this dungeon off strong. Hope you brought my Bufu. The really Bufula would be fine as well. If you have Mabufula at this point, you are overpowered and should really reconsider. Now, the thing about this dungeon is there's going to be a lot of corpses. And I just mean a disgusting amount of corpses. But check them all because they're basically the treasure boxes in this place. Now, I did some off-screen level grinding. I'm now around level 29, 28 for everyone. And most importantly, I got a bunch of new skills. Like, I got Tarazi for Surf here. Cielo has, like, Zionga, Maziarama, and a bunch of other cool things. I only really got like one or two mantras down. Gale mostly has some more buffs. Nothing that's incredibly important, but it's all nice to have around, I suppose. Mostly the one what I wanted to do was have enough MP and damage output to really be able to make it through this dungeon without having to use too many items. Because my biggest regret about playing this game through the first time was I was too weak, therefore I feel like it made the dungeon harder than it had to be and more annoying than it had to be, so it colored my opinion of the game negatively. The dungeon went a lot smoother now that I've done some level grinding, but, you know. Now, I think there's some treasure down this hall here, but unfortunately, the guide I'm looking at isn't really, I don't know why I'm still using this guide, because it's really, really bad. Like, I've complained about it before, it's like too generic. You say, oh yeah, just walk here and you'll be here. I'm like, oh hey, thanks bud. But it didn't tell you which way to go here, so I walked down here when the proper way to go was to the right, and I went to the left. So there might be some treasure here, but I ended up doubling back after reading the guide. Because my goal here is to have the least amount of annoyance as I can. Like, I didn't think I was going to get through this dungeon in one recording chunk. Fortunately, I managed to. Oh yeah, 2 Saddies. And I guess I didn't defeat every super boss in the file that I brought over on accident. Because that was... This, you only get that thing if you defeated Flyform Beelzebub in Digital Devil Saga 1. Which means I'm going to assume it didn't pick up on me defeating the Demi-Fiend, so I guess I'll just... When I get to the point where we would have gotten his item in this game, I'll let you know. But again, it's not a good ring, so don't worry about it. And we get the Skull Ring, which repels death attacks, which is wholly overpowered. But again, generally, if something is weak to death, or if something is using death, it's probably immune to death. Now, I don't know... No, you know what? No, it wouldn't. Never mind. So I was wondering if it would work on something like Deathflies, but then I remember Deathflies is Almighty with a death side effect. I don't think there's a ring in this game that helps against Almighty skills, but I might be wrong about that. Actually, yeah. There is the Dragon Ring, which you get from defeating Huang Long in DDS1, which I sure hope that it counted for me. Increased resistance to Almighty. I can dig it. And then there's the Master's Ring, which nullifies everything except Almighty. Never mind. And that's after you get every single ring in the game. Though it's kind of useless because the one thing you would want to use it on, which is the ultimate super boss, has a skill that if you are immune to anything, if you resist anything, if you repel anything, it instantly gets rid of that before you can do anything else. Like, he technically gets the drop on you and uses that skill. Well, he, she, I don't really know what gender they're trying to go for it. I think it's technically a dude, but, you know, we'll worry about that when we get to it. Well, Cielo. Damn it, I meant Gale. Welcome to the 29 Club. How does it feel? I don't know if I've ever told this on any of my LPs, though I probably did in Pokemon Gold, where it was most relevant. I don't really like the number 28 in video games, because when I used to play Pokemon Gold and I was young, 28 just looked like a kind of an ugly number. So I would never be happy when a Pokemon of mine was level 28, and I'd instantly try to grind it up to level 29 as fast as possible. Even now, when I play through the games and my Pokemon hit level 28, I get a little skeeved. Sometimes I'll save a rare candy just to get it past it. Which is weird, I know, but I'm sure everyone else had those little ticks. Now, I really considered just speeding up this dungeon in its entirety because it's a lot of running around and pointless backtracking with nothing of plot importance happening. So I'm just going to use it to talk about random shit for the next 40-odd minutes. Oh, we leveled up. And Surf's becoming really quite the tank. He's got a lot of vitality and a lot of magic. I wish I'd put a little more into his agility, but I do begin to rectify that. There was a corpse there, and I don't think I noticed him. He might have had a fun item. Fortunately, it's not as painful to watch and commentate over it now because I cut out all the random battles. Recording this sucked. Though I do believe I was listening to some Game Grumps whilst I was doing it. I always put them on as background noise when I'm like level grinding or trying to get through a boring part of a recording. It's like listening to a podcast, except it's also with gameplay if I want to actually look at the screen. I believe these things are weak to electricity. I'd be right. They use earth skills. Which is why it's kind of weird that Sarazi had an effect on it, but, you know, not the worst thing in the world. You know, looking back, I really should have put Surf through a little bit of electrical training. But we'll worry about that when we have to worry about that. It's not for a couple of dungeons now, but... So I have plenty of time to rectify it, so I don't even know why I brought it up. Not much else to talk about when you're going through the same gray corridor for hours. And we get attack mirror. It's basically like, wait, do any enemies have Tetrakarn and Makarakarn in this game? Anyway, it sets up a physical attack reflector shield. Well, hello there, Big Ugly. He looks scary. Is it? I was hoping they put it on ice to kill it. So what you're telling me is the ozone layer is holy. That sounds incredibly boring. Also, won't she die eventually? If you found a way to keep something immortal, that's great, but why can't you just make like an MP3 of the song and play that over and over again? Let Sarah live her life. This is getting oddly religious. Oh god, it really is moving. But it's shaking the entirety of the ice and the chains aren't moving. Ravana. Indra. So basically what you're telling me is related to Beck and Roland. What are you talking about, man? Varda's my, Atma avatar. The hell are you talking about, dude? Well, thank you for giving me a bunch of non-answers. Like, don't you remember? And I'm like, if I remembered, why would I ask you? But you know when you have, like, sunburn and, I wonder if it's the person in the middle who always does the battle quotes. No, I think Gale's done a few of them too, but Surf doesn't have any quotes because Surf is a mute. Oh, you transformed for nothing. And we get a daisy. That's free money. In addition to the free money we got. You know, you get sunburn and it like itches super bad once it starts healing. And like, you know you shouldn't itch it because it's only gonna make it itch worse. But then once you start, you just keep going so it doesn't start itching super bad again. That's pretty much what I've devolved into. Life is a swirling torrent of itchy misery. It actually kind of hurts. Let me get a Rose. I used to know a girl named Rose. Because I think it was a much more common name back in the day. But I don't really see many people named after flowers in general nowadays. Very often. But I knew one person named Rose. She was interesting. Not a lot of people really liked her, but I never really got to talk with her all that much, so if she did have something that was justifying the annoyance that people had felt, that's one thing. I never got to experience that, so I always felt it was a shade unfair, but you know. I've never met anyone named Daisy. Was Tulip ever a name? I know Petunia was a name. What if we just like named after a weird flower? Like if your name was Rafflesia, or however you pronounce that really stinky corpse flower. Figured Surf needed a stronger bullet because he's been sticking with the initial loadout for the entire game. But he really doesn't need it because I'm not buffing his strength at all, and I believe gun comes from strength. Wouldn't make sense if it came from magic. This dude was carrying a sapphire around in his pocket? Who does that? Like, alright. Better keep my lucky sapphire. Oh no. At least you're still alive. Do you need us to cast Dia on you? We can do it. We have 2 healers in our squad. Actually, we have 3. Roland has healing spells as well. Just a dead body. Nothing in its pocket. No sapphires. Well, that's another thing. Like, some, names, people are named after gems. Like, you have people named Ruby, you have people named Diamond, you have people named Pearl. I don't think I've ever seen anyone named Sapphire, though. That one just kind of seems like a stripper name. I think we actually fought this grouping earlier, but I only showed this one off because it showed that Zuzu is weak to Zeo spells. And I don't know what Saga is weak to. She appears to be normal to all of the elemental skills, except for her complete shield against earth spells, as she is a floater. Going to assume then either physical skills or Hama or Mudo do something to her, but it's quite possible she just doesn't have a weakness. That guy's just straight up weak to Earth. Good to see the Terra Z get some use in this one. And we get the Tiger's Eye. Certainly never saw a woman named Tiger's Eye. Though I have seen someone named Tiger Lily. I think you look fabulous, Ciela. Don't let the media tell you what's beautiful. She appears to resist physical attacks then, never mind. Mudo or Hama it is. 2 skills I don't recommend ever training in the first place. I used Mudo in DDS1 simply because Gale came equipped with it, but beyond that, I do not feel like it's worth it. The only games where I've ever felt Mudo and Hama were really worth it were in Persona Q, where literally, I'm not gonna say literally, mostly every enemy had some weakness to either light or dark. And once you had multi-hitting spells and the Impure Reach skill card to make them have a higher chance of taking effects, random battles became nothing. It was just spam your Mahama on, spam your Mamuto on. And it was lovely. I really liked Persona Q because I could just spam that and I'd be fine. Spam Panic Circle or manage to inflict panic on a boss and then spam Myriad Arrows and I'd be fine on that front too. I'm going to assume those guys are weak to Hama. We get a speedy ring. Boy, we are sure missing a lot of rings. It feels like a weird way to... I wonder if something else explains that better. Speedy ring. First down attack, or first attack 2 times the damage, down after. I can see where it would be useful, but definitely not in bosses. It's just a cool effect. It kind of reminds me of, the way you're supposed to know this is, you have to go back to that corpse, or not that corpse, the one soldier who's like leaning back and he told you like they took the card, and then it says, yo, just look on the card, and it has the password on it. Which really defeats the point of having a password, but I had the guide in front of me, so I figured I wasn't going to waste my time.
We have the advantage. Proceed.
I wonder why these guys are weak to Earth. They feel like they shouldn't be. Boy, these are some really cool rings. Like you can get some ones with like the increase the effect of healing magic. No turn loss for missed attacks, which would be wonderful for Gale, let me tell you. Gale was missing like every physical attack during that grinding session. Twas ridiculous. Like, seriously, dude, you can stop at any time. You know, you don't have to, I get it. Sometimes you want to miss, so you don't appear to be, you want to lower expectations so they don't expect amazing things from you, so you don't have to work hard all the time. But seriously, you died because of it once, Gale. I guess now is as good a time as ever to cut the episode. Realize nothing much happened here, but it's pretty even split with the recording chunk. See you guys next time.